All right, guys. So this is the activity overview of Calculus 1. And so what I'd like to do with you guys is just kind of give you an overview of the course, what's required, who I am, where my office is, my phone number, email, all that kind of stuff, right? So you should have the handout and you should follow along with me. Just to make sure you are watching the video, let's just put a little star right here by your name. So put your name up here, whatever it might be, and then put a star right next to it. That way I know that you did watch the video. Okay, so what's going on? My name is Dr. Price. My office is in building W 1234. I believe on our course website here, let me move this over so you can see it. I do have a map, I think, usually on here. So down here, there's a little map that shows you where my office is located. So right here, W1234. So if you need to come and find me and I'm on campus, that's typically where I will be. My email is over here, jprice12@ggc.edu. And then here's my phone number, 470-955-2549. So, you can call me or text me if you have questions. Over here, we have our course webpage. And then here's my YouTube page, which if you haven't gone there, you should probably go there and check it out, just so you can see where all our videos are. So I'll show you here basically where it's at. So my YouTube page. So I just type in YouTube. All right. So here it is. And we're the first playlist right here. So if you just click on this first playlist, these are all the videos for the course. They do go in order. I usually tell you guys, don't watch too far ahead because you'll get lost. So, basically I would just watch the video that's due that day, right? The day before, basically, right? Watch the video and then come to class and we'll do some problems together. Okay, so back to the overview. Required materials for the course. So there's basically only two things you need for this course. The first thing is you need to get this workbook for Calculus 1. So the Calculus 1 workbook, right? So workbook. And you should be filling this out with me here, Calculus 1. It's on our course webpage. It contains all the guided lecture notes and all the homework we're going to do all semester long. It can be printed at any vendor of your choice, but just make sure you're going to use black ink, do it double-sided, and 3-hole punch it and put it in a binder. It can typically be done for less than $30. So on our course webpage here, let me show you where this is. So I'm going to put myself into student view. So where are we at here? Here we go. And so on our course webpage, if you just click on the content button, you'll find down here our workbook and just click on it. And then down here, I did pricing at Office Depot last semester. So it was $25 last semester. It might be more this semester because of inflation, but it should not cost more than $30. So every once in a while, a student will tell me that they paid $60 for this. And I usually tell them, well, did you use black ink? Did you use the cheapest paper they have? Did you do it double-sided? Usually it's the paper where they get you. So make sure you choose the cheapest paper and it should come out for under $30. And if you have any trouble with this, just let me know. Okay, so back to where we were before. So what's the second thing you need? A TI-84 graphing calculator. So this is the calculator we use in this course. So TI-84 graphing calculator. An 83 will work also. We just want to make sure that your calculator looks like my calculator when I pull it up on the screen. I'm not sure if I have let's see if I have a calculator loaded up on here. I'm not sure if I do or not, but when I pull up my calculator, we just want it to look just like the one that I pull up here. So there it is. Right, so on mine, it looks like this. And so if I use this calculator, I would like for your calculator to look the same. That way you don't have to worry about finding any sort of buttons or anything else. And if you have another calculator you would like to use, just let me take a look at it to make sure it's not a CAS calculator and it's allowed in this class. There are TI Inspires typically I don't allow in the course because you can store PDFs on them. All right, so any other calculator you want to use besides just an 8483 have to be approved by me. Also, let me know if you have any trouble getting these materials, right? Really, this should not be a barrier to success in this class. We do have a textbook. It is completely optional. Most students do not purchase the textbook, but we do have a textbook. We are working out of this Calculus Early Transcendentals third edition. It can be accessed through my math lab. We'll talk about this in a minute. We don't use my math lab in this class, but I do have a course set up. So if you would like to purchase it, you could, although students do not usually do it in this class, but it is available for you. Okay, your final grade. So how will your final grade be computed, right? So important to know. So participation is 10% of your overall grade. Homework is 20% of your overall grade. The exams are 50% of your overall grade. And the final exam is 20% of your overall grade. And so that should add up to 100%. And of course, what letter grade you would like goes from the following sort of scheme to standard sort of grade distribution here. All right, so let's talk about how each of these areas are computed so you know. So how do we compute participation? So it's important to access this grade. I need to make sure you do go on my math lab, but you do not need to pay for it. So to access this overall 10%, not to get the 10%, just to open it up so then you can get it throughout the rest of the semester, all you have to do is register for the free, let me say that again, free 2-week trial period on my math lab. And so here's the web address. I mean, I'll show you guys here online real quick. So my math lab, you basically just go here. And then when you get there, you're going to register now. If you don't have an account, if you have an account, you can sign in. But if you don't, just go down here into register now. I gave you guys the course code here. So where's the course code? The course code is price 42732. And then make sure, right? Make sure you do not pay for this. So do not pay for this. In fact, if you can't figure it out, just don't do it. Just come and see me the next day and I'll help you set it up. It should be completely free. It's kind of hard to find the free button. So there's like a free trial button that's really small and blue usually when you try to sign up for this. All right, after you sign up for this, you can kind of look at the material that I have created on there for you guys. And I have actually a little assignment for you guys to do, which I'll talk about at the end here. But there's a little assignment for you to do. So after you do this, then the way your participation grade actually works is based on a 3-point daily participation score. You get 2 points for completing the lecture notes before class, right? So the idea is you go onto YouTube and you watch your little video, and in the workbook, let's go back to that workbook there. So in the workbook, all right, you'll see here in this workbook here. Oh, it should open. Why doesn't it open up? That's really weird. It usually opens up for us right here, but it's not, which I don't know why. I'll have to look into that because normally it'll just pop up on the screen. It's gonna open up and extract it for us here. So here's what the workbook looks like. Maybe it's too big of a document, so it zips it. I don't know, I'll look into it, guys. So right here is the workbook. And so the idea, if you look, yeah, the first lecture video, which we do next week, basically, is on continuity and limits. So you'll watch the video on my YouTube page and you just fill out the lecture notes and you just write down everything that I write down. So over on my YouTube page here, you'll find a video, continuity and limits. You simply click on it and it will play for you, right? You can have to watch the commercials now. YouTube automatically puts commercials on there. They changed that a couple of years ago. So now you're forced to watch whatever they want you to watch. But after that, you can play the video and fill out the lecture notes. Okay, let's move back here. So that's worth 2 points every day. And then you get 1 point for your attendance / participation. And there are various activity scores we'll do throughout the semester. So the way I grade these, the lecture notes, basically, it's very easy. I grade them at the beginning of class. You simply just hand them in, and then there's a little group activity you guys usually do. And you get 2 out of 2 for correctly copying from the lecture video, right? So if it's correctly copied, and I should say from, not from, but from the lecture video, which means if I wrote it down, you wrote it down, then you get full credit. If it's incorrectly copied or you're missing some work, you get a 1 out of 2. And of course, you don't turn it in, you don't get credit. And then group activities. So why I grade those lecture notes at the beginning of class, there's usually group activity going on. And if you get it correct, you get a 1 out of 1. If you don't get it correct, you still get some partial credit, 0.5 out of 1. Students sometimes worry about these in the beginning of the semester, but then they soon realize that these are basically easy points, and there's even bonus activities that I give you guys to make up for some if you miss a day or come to class late. All right, so lecture videos, like I said, they're on my YouTube page, and they're also linked in the dashboard. So there's a dashboard on our course webpage. Let me show it to you if you haven't seen it yet. So on our course webpage here, let's go back right here. And so this is the dashboard. So you should probably see this week, it should look something like this. And so there's links on here, and especially when we get to next week, we actually start the lecture videos. If you click on this, it'll take you right to the YouTube video you're supposed to watch. Okay, and there was no commercial on that one, so maybe if you use these links, you don't have to watch a commercial. All right, back to where we were before. The lecture notes will be collected, like I said, at the start of every class, graded and returned in the group activity. Late lecture notes, I do accept late lecture notes, but they have a 1-point deduction to them. So instead of getting a 2 out of 2, you get a 1 out of 2. And then further deductions may be made for any attendance or participation violations. So attendance or participation violations. And so, of course, what's an attendance violation? Oh, you're late to class, right? So there's usually a slight deduction from your attendance grade for that. Or you just leave early from class. Participation violations, I don't usually have issues with participation. You guys are usually really great participants in class. But, if you refuse to do any of the board work, that's where you can lose a point or something like that. It's just to help you guys kind of motivate you, like, hey, if I do the work in class, I actually get some points. And it is 10% of your grade, which is a significant proportion. So you want to make sure you do all that, watch the lecture videos, and definitely participate in the course. All right, what else? Homework. So let's do the homework here. So assignments, which is really the homework portion of the grade. So homework will be assigned daily and typically due on Sunday. So, even though we have an assignment on Monday and you should do it finish it as soon as you can, I don't collect it until Sunday or the night before the next exam. So sometimes we'll have an exam on like a Friday. So if that's the case, all the homework from that week will be due on that Thursday. The homework is collected through the assignments tab on our course webpage. And so let me show you that. So on our course webpage here, we have, where'd you go? Here you go. And so at the top, there's an assignments tab. So this is where you'll hand in all your homework, basically. So if you click on this, you'll see a couple assignments that are due right now. So from the first day of class, we did that activity, Introduction to Calculus 1. There's another activity we do the next day of class called A Short Story of Numbers. If you just click on one of these, you'll be able to turn this in. I have a little video here on how to use your cell phone here with Adobe Scan. So I like Adobe Scan. Yeah, I think it's the easiest way to get something into your phone as a PDF, a single PDF, and then you just upload it using your phone to our course webpage. So on here, I have a little blurb at the bottom here. So let's go back down. And it just tells you down here at the bottom, the easiest way to do this with your phone is with your phone and using an app like Adobe Scan. And it's completely free. Just use your GGC email when you log in. And then you scan your work as a single PDF. That's important. So we'll make sure you're doing single PDFs. If you do multiple PDFs, and I have to click on each one to open it, which is a pain. So we want to scan it as a single PDF, and then we'll upload it to our course web page. All right. So going back up here, where are we at? So we're talking about homework. So homework is typically graded on the following scale. So I grade mostly for correct answers and solutions, especially the ones we do in class. So we do most of the homework in class at some point in time. So it should be turned in correctly and neatly. So we talked about in class about turning your homework in a or doing your homework in a professional manner. So if it's correct work and answers, especially the class work, so the ones we complete in class, you get full credit. So it's actually, it's supposed to be almost give me points, but it turns out it's not always, right? Because you have to do some work out of class and you got to write those problems up neatly. It's a 2 out of 3 if you have some incorrect or missing some work, at least one problem there usually. And if you're missing multiple problems, it typically spins you down to a 1 out of 3. Now this is key. It's a little star right here. Incorrect homework submitted on time can be corrected and resubmitted for full credit up to the day of the exam, while late homework may be accepted with a 1-point deduction. So let me kind of repeat that because this is important. So the idea is that I know it's easy to fall behind on your homework. I know you guys are pretty busy. So if you do, that does happen, that's okay. You need to submit your homework on time so I'm aware and you're holding yourself accountable still for not doing the work. So we both know what's happening. You're not getting the work done, right? Which may affect your grade. So I know why your grade's being affected. And you at the same time are still being held accountable. So you're like, I don't want to turn it in halfway done. I really do want to turn it in completely finished, right? But at least this way, you have an opportunity to get full credit still. So if you turn in an assignment, and I hate to say this, but I did have a couple students last semester, every once in a while, not too often, because if it happens too often, I shut this down, but they'll turn an assignment that's almost blank. Like they did a couple problems because we did those in class, and the rest of them they haven't done. But what happens next is they have an opportunity now to complete that assignment and turn in by the exam deadline. So if that happens to you, make sure you turn in the incomplete assignment, and then you still have that opportunity to complete it. If you don't, you get an automatic sort of 1-point deduction for turning in late homework, even if it's completed. Right? So that's a nice policy that I made a couple of years ago. That's really helped a lot of students, not fall too far behind. But if they do fall a little bit behind, they still have an opportunity to catch up. Okay, so exam dates are on the tentative schedule, but they may change, of course. So down here, if you flip that page over, you'll see here's our schedule. So our first exam looks like is in week 5, so it's still a ways out, but you can kind of see the exams on this schedule. Here's exam 2, which, it falls right after spring break, which I don't like, but that's just the way the material falls out for us. And then here's exam 3 using derivatives. And then finally exam 4, which is on integrals, is down here in the last week of class, or full week of class. And the final will be to be determined. GGC will post the final exam schedule, so you can look at that when they post it, which they should post it pretty soon if they haven't already. All right, what else? Makeup exam. So typically there are no makeup exams, but the final exam can be used in place of a missed exam if it is excused. Now, make sure if you're to miss an exam, you let me know that you're going to miss it. If you give me enough heads up, sometimes we can find a time for you to take it. Otherwise, like I said, I'll just use that final exam in place of it. Definitely make sure you contact me if you're going to miss 2 or more exams. So if you miss 1 exam and you're going to miss a second exam, you need to let me know. Otherwise, you will receive an F in this class, right? 2 exams with zeros, then you have an F in the class. Point wise, you can't get anything higher, basically. So make sure you let me know if that happens to you. That way we can make some accommodation for you. Final exam, like I said, the final date and time will be posted online by GGC in the final exam schedule. It is comprehensive, just so you know, so it does cover everything. So all the material of the course will be covered on the final exam. When they do post it, make sure you make those necessary arrangements to attend when it's made available. There's also a nice bonus policy in this class. Right, so the bonus policy is there to kind of help your grade if something should happen to you. So the first bonus policy, all students are given a grace period to adjust to the policies of this course by allowing them to submit late lecture notes and homework assignments for full credit up to the first exam. So that's kind of a nice little policy. Most of you guys don't need to take advantage of it because you turn your stuff in on time. But if for some reason, like next week, there's always a couple students that don't realize they were supposed to watch a lecture video before class, and they come to class like, oh, I don't have the lecture notes done. I didn't know. I'm like, well, okay, that's okay. You just need to watch that lecture video, then turn those lecture notes in next time, and I can still give you full credit for that. So you got kind of like 5 weeks to figure things out, basically. After that 5-week period, then all the policies go into place here. The remaining bonus, right, so the remaining bonus is based on your participation and homework scores. This accounts for 30 points. And so if you earn 80% of these points, then your lowest exam can be replaced by the final exam score at the end of the semester. And you can even get 3 extra little bonus points towards this policy by doing exam corrections. So this is really nice. This is for students that might fall behind on one of the sections. Maybe they have a work conflict. Maybe somebody passes away and they have to travel for a funeral, or maybe somebody gets sick. And so you have one exam that's not reflective of what you know. And so that one exam basically at the end of the semester can be replaced by that final exam score. So then all your basic exam scores look right, basically. Okay. And so that's a nice thing to do. And so make sure, you keep up with the participation, keep up with the homework scores, homework and stuff, and you'll qualify for that bonus. And even if you fall a little bit behind, as long as you do these little exam corrections, you can still qualify for the bonus. The exam corrections are worth 3 points total, which is like 10%. So if you wind up with a 70% overall on homework participation, you can still bump yourself up to that 80%. And then the exam corrections, guys, you guys always ask me about this. It's a very simple idea. It's like you wrote 2 + 3 = 5 on your exam. Right, so that's the first problem, let's say, which is not the first problem. But if you did that, of course, I'd have an X on that problem. Or maybe I put an X right here. Oops. 2 + 3. Let's make it wrong. Actually, I made it right. So 2 + 3 = 4 on your exam, and so I'd have an X right there on that. And all you have to do is write the right answer on top of it, which is 5. And I even post solutions online to help you. So you can look at the solutions and see what your mistake is, self-correct, and then you'll submit that to the assignments tab. I don't have that open right now, but when you go into the assignments tab on our course webpage, you'll see an exam correction little folder. You just click on that and you'll submit all your exam corrections to that one little folder. All right, so that's the bonus policy. Learning assistance available. So this is very important for some of you guys. If you need help, it's important that you reach out and get it. So the place where you can get the best help is typically from me when I'm available. So I'm typically available to meet on campus on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I get on campus at 7, so 7 to 8 a.m. I'm on campus and I'm in usually a classroom. I'm usually in A 1150. That's where I teach my first calculus class. So in A 1150, if you need some help, let me know, and I will be in there at 7 a.m. and we can hang out and do some problems together. Or after I teach my second calculus class, I'll be back in my office from 11 to 12, and I guess this one should say 11 to 12 p.m. And that's W1234. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can meet up with me at 11 in my office, and if you have some questions, we can go over some problems. There's actually a whiteboard right outside my office, so we could probably just work out there and do problems together. If you want to meet up with me, make sure you text me. Just text me at 470-955-2549 and say, hey, I want to meet up, tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. are you free? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm free. I'll be there, right? And so I'll meet you at 11:50. Or if you want to check to make sure I'm in my office, hey, can we meet up at 11 today at your office? Sure, no problem. 11:30, no big deal, right? Just text me to let me know, because sometimes I go get lunch, or sometimes I might meet with another student. And so it's nice to know. And oftentimes, at 11:50, I don't usually get there right at 7. That's a classroom. So sometimes I'm over there at 7:30, unless you want to meet me over there, and then I'll get there at 7, because sometimes I'm just hanging out in my office getting work done. Also, if you can't meet up with me on campus, you can always text me at 470-955-2549. Text me a picture of the work you're doing, and then a little question like, what the problem, what issue you're having. That's always great, and I can usually figure out what's happening from that. I'm also available to meet online too, guys. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we can meet online at various times when I'm not in meetings and stuff. That's also an option if you can't meet in person and want to do some sort of one-on-one work. All right. If you are taking Calculus 1 for the second time, this is really important for you guys, right? Or if you feel like I'm a little behind, I want to stay on top of things, I want kind of like a personal trainer, then I would suggest and highly advise those of you taking Calculus 1 for the second time to go over to the AEC. So the AEC, the Academic Enhancement Center, is in a W1160. It's right across from the Student Union where the cafeteria is. They offer free online and in-person tutoring, and I'm going to circle the in-person. This is a huge deal. It's very expensive to get a tutor. I don't know how much personal tutors charge, but back in the day when I was tutoring, when I was a grad student, I charged $25 to $30 an hour. So I imagine a personal tutor should probably be now like $40 to $45 an hour. So it's a huge deal for those of you that may need it, because it's completely free to you guys. It's part of your tuition, basically. So if you know you're going to need help, or feel like you're going to need a lot of help, or you're taking this class for the second time, run over there today and set yourself up with a in-person tutor. They do have online tutoring, but I think in-person, meeting with somebody like maybe once a week or even twice a week, if you're really, want to make sure you stay on top of things, and this is your second time taking Calculus 1, this could really be helpful to you. We also have available to students PSI, which is called Peer Supplemental Instruction, which is really cool too. I did this as a freshman when I took my Calculus 1. They're basically calculus sessions led by GGC students who have completed the course, and it's really a great opportunity for you guys to learn math with others. I'll post the information on our course webpage. So in the announcement section, so let me show you this. So in the announcement section down here, I'll post some information. Right now, I just have the welcome that I sent a lot of you guys last week, I guess. But I'll post the information for PSI down here if it's not down there already by the time you watch this video. Okay, we're almost done, I think. And so, yeah. And so I think that's it. All right, so we'll talk about the My Math Lab stuff on Friday. So make sure you do sign up for it, and you'll see there's actually a couple little quizzes for you guys to do on there. I think I put it on the first day handout. I'm pretty sure I did. I usually do. So the first day handout that we did, that activity, Introduction to Calculus 1, I think it should be on there. And you can do those little fraction quiz and multiplication quiz, I think, to make sure you did actually sign up for My Math Lab. Just remember, do not pay for My Math Lab. All right, guys, I'll see you in class. Bye-bye.